Hi guys, my name is Oriana Calderon. For the Horror History Project Part 5, I decided to do a presentation. My main focus here is on how New Yorkers see Donald Trump and the last actions that he took during his presidency. So the background. Most Americans seem to have a very strong opinion about their last president, Donald Trump, which doesn't necessarily mean it is an optimistic one. Donald Trump is the 45th President of the United States. He served a presidential term from 2017 to 2021. His personalities and wild ideas make him be remembered by the whole nation in a way that just a few are proud of calling him president. Even though he navigated through a whole pandemic and kept the country moving in the darkest time, he ended his term in a very unfavorable way. Trump's last presidential actions and decisions make him look as an incompetent, irresponsible, and unfaithful person who ensured once more that white privilege and power are still leading America over what was written by the founder fathers in the Constitution. After talking with a group of New Yorkers about this, I found that all of them were outraged, indignant, and upset about the way he did during his presidency. The following presentation is a compilation of evidence recorded by surviving New Yorkers regarding the U.S. Capitol overthrow, the way the police treated them, and what should be done about it. Main points. Number 1. New Yorkers were indignant at ex-President Low education and behavior. Number 2. New Yorkers were outraged because he wasn't treating people equally based on race. Point 3. New Yorkers believe ex-President Donald Trump should be held accountable for his actions. Number 1. New Yorkers were indignant at ex-President Low education and behavior. I got this picture from Google. It's Donald Trump riding kind of, a luxury car, but it has also little images like little papers saying cutting allies, tax return, cage kids, porn, blood, Ukraine, and we got on the side of the car, it's kind of America, the whole country saying, this should do it, and he pretty much getting away with all of that. For evidence number 1, we have Samantha Malik. She is in her early 40s from Belize, Central America. She came to the U.S. when she was 4 years old. She got 2 children. She lived in the Bronx and feel represented by the Democrat Party. Let's remember that back in 2021, when the elections were made and they were close, Trump felt like there was some kind of cheating in the elections and that he should have won. So he wrote a Twitter saying, I think they're looking at us like we're fools because it wasn't really clear. It shouldn't be like that. People got pretty upset about it. It was just white old dudes, like between 30 to 40, I think. And a bunch of people, they were all into the Capitol, the U.S. Capitol, and they actually got into the Capitol. This is kind of ironic. It doesn't make sense because, first of all, it's the U.S. Capitol. It's supposed to be surveillance every single day, every single time. There's supposed to be police around it. And somehow, these people get to go into the Capitol. I think nothing really happened to them. None of them were jailed. Not even Trump, who was the one who started it. He was the one, saying we should all go fight for democracy. But he actually got a lot of people in trouble. And it was a danger for not only for the people that went in, but also for the people that was in the Capitol. This was all unexpected. It was out of nowhere. So Samantha Malik refers to that, saying it was inappropriate for him to express that on social media. There has to be some decorum that people and so-called power need to keep in mind when they are using social media. He's in a certain quote-unquote status of power. So I think, what she's saying is really true. He got the power that none of us do, and he doesn't know how to use it. He's not educated in a way that he knows how to put boundaries and when to just don't say anything because it's better. I got this image, is the US Capitol, and it says, "We have to destroy this country to keep the Democrats from destroying the country." This was pretty much the argument that they were making when they got into the Capitol, which is not 100% true, but like I said, it was only white people and it was Trump supporters. So they didn't get treated the way that they would have been if it was a minority group who was going into the US Capitol. Evidence 2 comes from Megan Lacey. She is 39 years old. She's a librarian, white Pacific Islander, not religion, originally from Washington State. She moved to New York City in 2014 as Goodman Community College librarian, and she doesn't feel represented by any political party. And she says, "He put a lot of people in danger just because he put Trump himself first and not the country. He was thinking for his own benefit and not the best for the country." So again, someone who is educated will not put his ego before the 35, I think it's 350 million people in the country, or maybe more. And he did that. He didn't even think about it, which is something that you shouldn't do if you are in a position when millions of lives depend on your decisions. We also got evidence 3 from Natalio Jimenez. He's also called Nate. He is 30 years old, Afro-Latino. He is a special education teacher at Brooklyn International High School. He was born in Boston but moved to New York City at 2 months old, so it's pretty much a New Yorker. He got some Dominican Republic and Puerto Rican background. He don't like the idea of a bipartisan government, but goes more for the Democratic parties in presidential elections. And he says, "The amount of the respect this fool got for the United States, they should have more requirements for folks that are going to run for president, like a college degree in a master's or doctorate or something like that." Let's also remember that Donald Trump only got a bachelor's degree. He supposed, I don't know, I'm not quite sure if it's written on the Constitution, but every single president that has ever been in the United States, they at least got a doctorate, and they have way more than just a bachelor, which Donald Trump doesn't. So this also comes back, to the idea that he's not really prepared to be in the position that he was. And I think pretty much because of this, he made so poorly decisions that put a lot of people in danger. For the second point, we have New Yorkers were outraged because Donald Trump wasn't treating people equally based on race. The question that I got, it's the Statue of the Liberty, giving more to white families, like the American dream family, than to those people that are clearly probably immigrants, black people, skin color people, not so wealthy. So the evidence 1 that I got says, "I just said to myself, just imagine if these were African American. They would have shot people or beat us down, throw tear gas at us." This comes from Malay Grapes, and he was interviewed by Stephanie Marie. So we're talking about the way that police treated the people that got into the US Capitol. Like I said before, there's no evidence that they either went to jail or they got hurt at all. The police didn't do much. They didn't went into the people and start, like pushing them or doing something abusive. They just pretty much let them be, and then it kind of calmed down. And like he's saying, so he's 20 years old. He's a college student, African American. His dad is from Barbados. He agreed with some opinions of both parties. But this showing how unequal treatment we are getting in the US, or at least it was when Donald Trump was president. Because, like he said, if would be black people or minorities or Native Americans or any other kind of people besides white, what could have happened? They would have shot everybody. They would have sent to jail everybody. He would have gone crazy about it, and nothing happened. I got this image that is not high resolution. I'm sorry for that. And it says it's two people. It's one white dude, one brown skin, and they are both holding a slogan that says equal justice. And the police go to the skin color person and ask him for a permit. This is pretty much what has been going on long time in America. We could be fighting for the same thing, but just because you got a lighter skin color than me, you get to go away with what you want to do, and I get to be in trouble. So this is what we are referring in the next following evidence. For evidence number 2, I have, if it was a group of black people, he would have got us all shut down. You got to treat everybody equally, man. Because, if it was black responses, if that was led by black people, he would have all be shut down. Even if we were Trump supporters, you gotta, doing exactly the same thing. Get out of here, It's from Natalo Jimenez, and he was interviewed by Lisbeth Reyes. Nate is a 30 years old male. He's Afro-Latino. We spoke about him in the last point, which he also said that Trump needed to treat. That he said that Trump needed to, to have a doctorate or have more education than what he actually does. In this one, he's referring to everybody, and he's saying he's Afro-Latino, which I believe, he should have like skin, like brown skin color, probably. And this is what we got, If he was us, then what would have happened to us? But why nothing else happened to the white dudes that actually did it? For the last evidence we got, but here he goes again, and flagger people of color. They will go one by one and trying to find each individual who was involved. But since they were not people of color, the president, he's not of color, so he brushed it off like, okay, get over it. I feel like they deal with it. This is Elvis Fernandez, and he was interviewed by Manuel Moreno. Elvis Fernandez is 20 years old. He works in an airport. He's Hispanic, Latino. He's from Dominican Republic. He's not a really political person. He has brown skin and short curly hair. Again, we're talking about how we are all not getting the same treatment just because of skin. And I know we have been fighting over this for the last 100 of years since the colonies started and everything. But it's kind of sad that all of this mistreatment comes from the president and comes from the person that's supposed to be guiding you. And, he's just doing whatever he want to do. And again, he's keeping the white privilege alive. While we might be the same, we might have the same abilities and the same skills. But just because I got a darker skin color than other people, then I am in disadvantage, which is stupid, to be honest. The third point that I got is New Yorkers believe ex-President Donald Trump should be held accountable for his action. Not only that he let everything on the U.S. Capitol happen, after that there was also evidence that he gave hustle money to an model, I believe, to keep her silence about his affair that he had when he was with, I think he was president at the time that he had the affair, and his wife didn't know. So he gave her a huge amount of money for her not to talk, but then she went on talk. Now he's on trial for it. He's also on trial for tax evasion, which again is the president. He shouldn't be doing what we all get to go to prison for life if we do. So pretty much these three things that I think they're like the worst thing that he did under his parents during his term, which was the U.S. capital invasion, the hustle money to this girl to keep his affair quiet, and then the tax evasion that he did for over years. McLegrave, he says he should spend jail time, which I agree. I think he should go to jail for some good years because he deserves it. Evidence 2 comes from Megan Lacy. She said, but I hope there's some sort of justice. Like I said early in this conversation, I don't think too many things are working. So I can see him just getting away with it. That's true. He gets to do whatever he please and nobody goes and confront him just because he's a white dude. He got money, but he got power. Third comes from Elvis Fernandez, and he said, I feel like the trial should have come to him a long time ago. Like the first year he became president, because when Trump got into office, he just started off like crazy. He just started off the things out of nowhere without thinking about how we are going to affect others, and just saying things about lower classes in the way he also treated individuals. So the impeachment should have been put against them during the first few years in office. I remember when my sister was born in 2016. By the time he was running for president, like the elections were happening, and I remember that he said that he wanted to take out citizenship for the kids that were born in the United States but their parents were immigrants, which doesn't make sense. It's written on the Constitution. You can't just do it. You can't just take out whatever says on the Constitution. But I remember I was 12 when that happened, and I was like, oh my God, that this dude is crazy. Like, why would you do that? That's not fair. That's already written so many years ago. Why would you go ahead and do something that's going to harm others? And then he became president. And I think then he wanted to do the thing with Mexico and build, I don't know how it's called, but build like a boundary in between the two countries. Kind of what they did in Germany. It's crazy. It's a huge amount of money that you're going to spend on something that's not going to help nobody. That you could be using it for housing, you could be doing it for education, you could be using it for transportation, for medical insurance, for many other things, and you really want to throw away millions of dollars doing a boundary between two countries. Like, that was insane. Lastly, I got this image. He wants to run for president again in 2024, and this image is pretty much 2024 platform, but it's the back of a police truck. He is doing the media presentation from the truck. I don't know if he's ever gonna go to jail, to be honest. I think he got way too much money to just pay off the bills and get away with it. It would be crazy if he get to be president again. Yes, that would be a little bit out of everything. But I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully people get the justice, and we all get to see that white privilege are lowering a little bit, and that everybody is gonna get an equal treatment under the law. And it's not because you got this and I don't, that you are gonna do whatever the hell you wanna do, and I'm actually gonna be accountable for my actions. This was it. Thank you so much.